Yo, welcome to Millennial Magic Carps YouTube. Today we're going to be doing a players Cupdate for week 3. It kind of ended up being weird where like week 1 was between week 1 and 2, and so we kind of skipped week 2, but it's fine. So this is for week 3. We have about, and it's also kind of like, whatever. We're between weeks 3 and 4 still, but we have about 10 days as of recording this, depending when you watch it, but whenever the release date is, you have about 10 days to finish up your keys. So let's go ahead and talk about what the metas look like, what's been doing well, and of course points, all that other stuff. So the apparent meta, it has changed a bit from before. Originally, there was a lot more Urshifu and a lot more Mewtwo decks because of the Urshifus, but then LMZ saw quite a bit of a resurgence. And that actually made E-Turn come back a lot. So there's been a lot of Eternatus. Eternatus is very good against ADP, which is still, there's always going to be ADP. ADP is very good. You've lost to ADP in keys. I've lost to ADP in keys. We've beaten ADP in keys. It's how it happens. But E-Turn's come back. E-Turn's good against both LMZ and ADP, assuming that Eternatus plays, Phoebe, which they should, for sure. And because of that, I'm kind of expecting a rise of Urshifu at some point. I don't know when. Potentially very soon. Potentially by myself as well. But E-Turn's come back, LMZ is still there, ADP is still there, and then of course there's other stuff. You'll still run into the occasional Mewtwo deck, you'll run into the occasional Pika deck, you'll still run into Rapid Strike Urshifu, some single strike, more single strike than I'd expect, honestly. I've also run into more Togekiss than I'd expect, but I'm pretty sure that's just me and not everyone else. Mad Party's hanging out. Mad Party has fallen off a bit, but it's still out there. Tempozard as well will show up a fair amount. That seems to be the only Welder deck that I'm seeing anyone play against lately. There's maybe the occasional Greenzard or something like that, but for the most part, the Welder deck seems to be Tempozard, the Welder deck of choice. So this is what I'm seeing so far between watching streamers, playing myself. You might see stuff a little different, like I know Dragapult's popped up occasionally, depending on when you're playing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's out there, it exists, but for the most part, this is what the meta has been. Currently, I would not take an L to more than one of those most common decks, preferably none of them, but admittingly, I'm playing Pikarom, which does not take the best Eternatus matchup in the world. I've beaten a fair amount, but I've also just got bodied by a few of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the points. As of right now, recording, NA's at 76, EU at 58, LATAM at 46, and Oceania at 18. Good for them. They're really stepping it up. These are going to change depending on when you're watching it. Probably not by much. So we're going to talk about how much it's been improving. So shout out to Julian for this one. Also shout out Julian if you're watching. But I'm going to have this website linked below that's been keeping track of the points. And it updates every, I want to say it's 10 minutes. But if we take a look, you have the green is NA, red EU, weird light green thing is LATAM, and Oceania is blue. So if we take a look, there are dotted lines for each one. The dotted lines represent Players Cup 3. So remember, we're on Players Cup 4. Represent Players Cup 3 and the trajectory for that one. NA has actually been on just about the same trajectory. EU, a little above, but not a ton above. LATAM, same thing, just a little above. Oceania is destroying it. They're actually higher now than they were at the end. So very good for them again. But so far, things appear to be heading in the exact same direction as before. Now, with that said, there's a lot of time left. We don't entirely know what's going to happen, but this is going to explain my predictions quite a bit. I'm currently projecting NA to be about 95. I originally said 94 last video. I think it's projections gone up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to hit over 100. I've heard a lot of people talk about, oh, it's definitely going to hit over 100. I don't think that's true. I don't think there's that many people playing. But like I said, if we keep up the exact same projections last time, we ended at 93 last time. That's where we're heading to currently. The interesting thing about these lines too is, remember, it actually, yeah, it's not looking like it just dips off at the end. Not many people played. So NA, I expect 95. I expect it to go up a little bit from last time. EU, same thing. I expect it to go up a little bit. LATAM, yeah, I just expect all of them to go up just a little from last time. I don't think they're going to make these huge jumps people think they're going to make. And that's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So for those of you who are like, oh, I only ended with 92, 93, I would hold out hope still. That's not necessarily out of it yet. That could 100% still make it. For NA, of course. EU, if you're at 92, 93, you're in for sure. I don't see a world where they end higher than that. So these are my projections. You have until the 26th of May at 11 a.m. Pacific time. For those of you who live, I know some of the people who are overseas only know Eastern time. That's 3 hours after Eastern time. So you have until the 26th to use them. That is not next Wednesday, but the one after, depending when you're watching this. So make sure you get those keys in. Like I said, these are my projections. We'll find out how close I am. I might be very far off, but like I said, I think a lot of people are saying it's going to be over 100 for sure. I don't think that's true. I think 100 is safe, and I'm pretty sure a little under 100 is going to end up making it. So my own results, because I always want to update you, I've used 3 keys of Luke Metal for 4 rep. The Luke Metal didn't Luke Metal for me. You know, we hit some fire decks with energy removal. Hooray. And then 25 keys of Peak for 52 rep. The Peak didn't treat me well last time. There's a lot more Eternatus. We just got power planted out of the game a couple times. And, you know, power plant plus Dread End for 1,000,000 damage is very scary. But so far, Peak has been doing very, very well for me. I'm still above the 2 points per key, just period. But also with Peak ROM specifically, we're still above it. So we're feeling pretty good. Like I said, I think 100 is for sure safe. I think you can be under 100. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let me know what your results are as well. I'm curious how everyone's doing or how everyone finished. I know some of you have not finished yet. I haven't finished yet. Obviously, 25 plus 3 is not 50. I know, math. But you can catch the rest of my keys on twitch.tv/mellow_Magikarp. Hopefully you enjoyed just a quick little update with the projections, stuff like that. The meta, not a ton has changed. And I don't think there's a ton to talk about with the projections because it looks like it's actually going to be the same as last time, which isn't a bad thing. That shows me that we have a pretty consistent player base that is playing in these key tournaments, and that's good. That is good for the game. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, all the other YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.